Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today we are discussing a watch made in ceramic, titanium, and sapphire in 100 pieces. This is the Hublot Big Bang Ferrari Titanium Ceramic Bracelet Boutique Edition, a watch that combines everything that is Hublot with much that is Ferrari, and a bracelet that circa 2015 represented the next generation of Hublot integrated bracelet. So the watch does wear large. 45 millimeters in diameter, it's 17 millimeters thick. If we just include the lugs, that is lug-to-lug, no bracelet. This watch has a span of 57.2 millimeters. Now, if we add back that hybrid bracelet of titanium and ceramic, and by the way, I'm demonstrating the quick release system at the same time, now it has a rigid distance across the wrist of a monumental 67.8 millimeters. So how does this wear on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist? Well, first, know that it comes with two straps. One in red rubber, one in a combination of black rubber and black leather. So you have two straps that come with this watch. Both of them wear more compact than this bracelet. On the straps, I can wear this watch on a 16 centimeter circumference wrist. On the bracelet, it looks like it is engulfing and absorbing my wrist. It's like a macrophage, and I'm a virus. This thing is going to take me down. You could see easily from over the top that the lugs are out over the edge of my wrist, and you could see down the barrel just how far beyond my wrist they project on each side. It's just too much. So I recommend you have a wrist of 18 centimeters circumference or larger to wear this thing on the bracelet, and it's thick. You can see that it's self-evident in profile. But the bracelet is nice. First of all, we have this car seatbelt buckle inspired quick release system. And with the two straps, the one in rubber and the one in rubber and leather, you'll have the chance to change the look, also change the ergonomics a bit. Now the bracelet includes a combination of ceramic, which is on the top. This is ceramic. It includes titanium, which you can see is both satinated and polished. And then on the underside, we have some inlay of rubber. So while it looks like it's all ceramic on the bottom, there's also some rubber here, as these little flanking contacts are actually made of rubber for comfort and for security on the wrist. Now you can see that this is fixed by pins and sleeves, because the construction of the bracelet being made of rubber and titanium and ceramic requires the security of a pin sleeve system. So if you do want to swap links, increase or decrease the size at home, you're going to need a block and punch, but relatively easy to do. Here you can see we have a blackened clasp, which is blackened titanium, because it says so. And it is a double folding clasp. So you close it up, it's a sequential close, one side before the other. There's the Hublot logo, twin trigger release. And that twin trigger, you have to press both to pop this open, so you have a great deal of security. Now you can also see that the ceramic part of the bracelet is actually elevated over the titanium part, which means that a lot of times the ceramic is what will come in contact with the surface and protect the titanium. I know you're wondering, grade 5 titanium, the good stuff, hypoallergenic, lighter than steel, but also more scratch resistant than steel. Nice to know and nice to have. We have carbon fiber inlays. We also have resin elements such as the bezel gasket and the flanking column covers. So this watch is made of resin, sapphire, titanium, ceramic, and a little bit of rubber too. Now this is the Hublot Big Bang Ferrari. It uses the Unico movement. When the first watches were announced in 2012 bearing the Hublot and Ferrari names, they were the debut of the Unico caliber, which came out on the King Power in 2009. They debuted on the Big Bang in Ferrari form in 2012, announced in 2011. Then in 2013, we got standard Big Bang Unicos, but the Ferraris led the way. Now, one thing that is unique to the Ferrari is that they have a quarter turn locking crown, and there's a little red index that makes it easier to know when it is open, like now, and when it is closed, like now. 100-meter water resistance, and you get that quarter turn color-coded crown again, unique to the Ferraris. We also have, in addition to 100-meter water resistance, maybe I should wind this watch up before I fire it up for a demonstration. We also have a flyback chronograph, and there are a couple of things about the chronograph that are unconventional on the Unico. So let's lock that up again and take a look at how this chrono works. Okay, Now in action, take a look at this. Flyback. Reset, restart without first stopping. The Ferrari trigger lets you know where to press. A flyback chronograph doesn't have to be stopped before it restarts, so it saves you time. It's great for events that might occur in rapid succession. You can also see that the watch features a 60-minute chronograph register, which I really love, because I always find that gap between 30 and 60 minutes on a regular 30-minute chrono, like my DR02, which I love, but again, what if you have to time something between 30 minutes and 1 hour? With a 60-minute register, not a problem. Now, you don't have an hours register, but a lot of times you don't need to use an hours register with a chrono, especially when you're timing short duration things. The 60-minute register, though, for me is really nice. Now, if you look, one of the elements that makes the Unico so appealing is that the fun stuff is on the dial side. Not only can I see the motion works and some of the drivetrain for the date mechanism, you can see the jumper up at the top, but I can actually see the column wheel that cycles the functions, and because this is a column wheel, pusher feel is super crisp. There's a little rubber insert that makes it easy to grip to, and you'll note that black polished column wheel has a little Hublot H bolt on top. So you see that little H? You've actually got a couple of others. This ceramic bezel, which you'll note is satinated throughout, it features these little blackened titanium bolts that have an H pattern, so they represent the brand everywhere you look. Also, because it's capped by ceramic, you've got that heat shield with the ceramic and the sapphire crystal to prevent scratches. Another element you'll love with the chronograph on the dial side of the Unico is that the lateral clutch system is visible. You can see it engaging like now and disengaging like now. We also have the famous cavallino rampante, the raging horse or the rampant horse, and it sits on top of a second sapphire. You can see that there's the primary sapphire, and then there's another one underneath on which the minute counter sits, the applique hours and indices sit, and then so does the cavallino and the Hublot logo. So you have a sapphire on top of a sapphire that adds tremendous depth to the dial. There's also quite a bit of lume, as you'll see, no shortage in that regard. It's fairly easy to read the watch in the dark. They've even lumed the chronograph seconds hand. A quick rundown of some of the other features you've got. That quarter turn crown, we'll open it up. Hacking or stop seconds, set the watch to a reference time. And then we also have a quick set system for the date. So you can see the date, there's this little jumper up at the top. The date is skeletonized and runs around the periphery of the dial, and then it sits on a little yellow highlight plate that allows you to easily see the current date. It sits inside the chronograph minutes register. So the aesthetic with the red, the black, and the yellow highlight panel, much like some of the dashboard instruments of modern-day Ferrari cars. You can see the Hublot logo is the counterweight for the red varnished chronograph seconds hands. Turn it over, you can see that the case back looks like the bolts fixing a high-performance automotive wheel, assuredly something on the road because a Ferrari F1 or Le Mans car would have center lock. Here we have ceramic bearings for the Unico for high-efficiency winding, 72-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate. It does feature a low lubrication, low friction silicone escapement, which is a wonderful thing to see. I believe this is full silicone. It doesn't even have pallet stones, so it operates entirely without lubrication. It's silicone, I believe, with a diamond-like coating on it, so improving the performance of your watch in between services. Again, 72-hour power reserve, and this watch features a number of elements that have a techno-industrial aesthetic just below that wheel. You can see also we have a full balance bridge anchored on both sides to better brace this 4 Hz movement against shock. This is known as the HUB 1241, the Unico, over 30 millimeters in diameter, a movement designed to be seen from the dial side, but still entertaining enough to see from the reverse. And this is number 11 of 100, so that's actually my lucky number 11 right there. Big Bang Ferrari. Unlike the Panerai Ferrari watches, which everyone seemed to hate, most folks agreed that the match between Hublot and Ferrari in terms of substance and style was actually a pretty good pairing. And these watches are well regarded today. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.